Davidson and partner, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper, for that lovely introduction. Along with me, I have Miss Christy Shelton. She's also a school readiness specialist. She and I work very closely together. And since Ms. Scott was not able to be here, she asked if we would come in and share with you about the 30 million word gap. And I've already been told that Dr. Radinsky has looked at the formula and that it's not quite 30 million, but we're going to go with that for the time being. So
maybe it's 29.9.
What is it? 29 point. We're going to go with that. Listen, we're going to work with it, Dr. W. We're going to work with it. But I will not be before you long. I promise you that. But we just wanted to give you an overview of LENA, which actually stands for Language Environment Analysis. And we're excited simply because we have been selected by LENA. We were one of 2 sites that were chosen to be a demonstration site for LENA. And we're not only excited that we were chosen, we are the first school system to be chosen. Normally it's a city that's chosen, but we were the first school system. So we are very excited about that, and we've been working diligently with them. But as far as LENA is concerned, the foundation uses its products to assist in bridging the language barrier between children of poverty in relation to their counterparts that come from more affluent homes. And the overall goal is to increase conversation between parents and their children, helping parents to understand that they're their children's first teacher. Again, LENA stands for the Language Environment Analysis. As for LENA Start, this particular program communicates through reports and goal setting. And there's a text messaging feature, which we found to be helpful simply because we are a digital community and a digital district, so it is very helpful to have that in our community. How it works, there's a digital language processor. If you'll look at the screen, that little, well, as we call it, that little doohickey down in the left part of that screen is a digital language processor. And the biggest thing that we want you to understand about that is it records, but it records nothing that you particularly say. It doesn't record your actual words. What you're saying is not recorded. It actually records your phonological segments. It only records the sounds. So that was one of the biggest things. And if you look over in the far right corner, you'll see some of the clothing that comes along with LENA, simply because that digital language processor has to be worn on the child for 16 continuous hours in a week. So it could be one day a week the child is with you or going to daycare, but you place that digital recorder inside of, there's a pocket on the front of that piece of clothing, and that recorder records, like I said, those conversational turns between adults and children. As far as the LENA system is concerned, there are the metrics. You have the adult word count, which counts, again, how many words are spoken to the child as they converse back and forth with an adult. You also have the conversational turns, which is the same thing that I was just talking about. And you have the child vocalization. So not only are the words counted from what the adult is saying back and forth to the child, but the child's vocalizations are also counted. So the biggest thing that we're trying to do is to assist those children in making those connections, having conversations early on. This particular slide shows how the data is processed. Again, you have the digital language processor. Once we collect it weekly, it's processed through the computer, it's plugged in, that information is generated, and the parents actually get a hard copy of the report, which on the next slide, this is an example of a report. It shows the words spoken by the adults, the conversational turns, that conversation back and forth between the child and the parent. And also, if you sit little Johnny down in front of the TV all day long, it actually ciphers that out. And on the right side of the report, you'll notice that it actually tells you your peak hours of the day. At the top, you see that that parent talks to that child at 2 o'clock in the day. We don't know if they're picking them up from school or what they're doing with them, but they're having a lot of conversation with them at that time. And if you'll notice, it diminishes throughout the night. Probably about 8 p.m., that's when you're reading your bedtime stories, you're getting them ready for bed. But the key thing is having conversations with them. These are some of the research findings. I will not read them to you, but one of them that spoke mostly to us was that parents talk more to their firstborn child than to their other children. You're excited when you first have a baby. So you just talk. By the third baby, I have to wash these clothes, go in and talk to your sister, go in and talk to your brother. So we understand that. And so that's one of the things that stuck out to us. And also another one that stuck out, children of talkative parents are also talkative.
Amen.
So we know that when they get to school, you can't just put them in timeout. Just talk to them. Just talk to them. So we have a lot of parents who don't get upset because I was the same way. So I understand. So just know that those are some of the findings that they've had. One thing that Dr. Cooper mentioned was the 30 million word gap, and we're not going to talk about that number, but the 30 million word gap is the main reason that we're doing this. Our purpose for this is to assist in reducing the 30 million word gap. We can't do it across the world, but we can do it here in Huntsville City Schools or in the city of Huntsville through the works of Huntsville City Schools. And the biggest thing was that 30 million words, the word gap is a conversation terms of back and forth. Babies from the age of from birth to the age 3, those that are in poverty, the research showed that they heard 30 million words less than their counterparts. That's a lot of words. That's a lot of conversation that is not taking place with our children. So it is our effort to come together and to work through our system and through the community to come together to improve that language.
So once they get to pre-K, it's too late. You know, we've got to do that before.
What is the LENA Start Project? It is an early childhood language intervention program, and it has 5 components. And we're looking at the LENA system. And again, the part that stuck out to us was the LENA mobile part, because you can get data anytime. Anybody that is a stakeholder, that data can be pulled up on anything, especially your smartphones. That's one of the things that we use the most. And so if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm sitting there and I just want to know how well our students are doing, I can actually pull it up on my smartphone wherever I am and I can look at it. And the program that we're implementing is actually Smarter, Happier Baby, and I'll talk about that a little bit further down. And one of the biggest things that we want you to know is this is a center-based program. And so we've been looking at a couple of sites and kind of made some decisions about those sites because that's where our need is, and we want to focus on those particular sites. Again, Smarter, Happier Baby. We will use the Smarter, Happier Baby curriculum. It's an entity of LENA, and it will assist us in teaching our parents how to converse with their babies. It's not, a lot of times we found that it's not that the parents don't want to, they don't know how to. So it's going to be our effort to assist them in giving them strategies that they can use. And there's a recruitment process, and so we've already been in talks with some of our community partners, especially Huntsville Hospital, Women's and Children, to recruit babies from birth to the age 30 months. So that we can place them into our program. And it will take place during March and April. We will start recruiting during March and April because our first round of classes will start at the beginning of May. And we definitely want you all to be a part of that, coming out and paying attention and understanding what it is that we're doing so that you'll know the importance of it. It is an 8-week instructional session for the parents. But one thing that we found was that LENA didn't have anything after those 8 weeks. So we've had conversation about what is it that we can do as a team and as a department to carry out and follow with those parents. So after that, there will be 10 months that the parents will meet once a month for graduate follow-up sessions to make sure that they're still on course, on track, and we can give them some additional strategies that they can use with their babies. Again, the delivery for this particular curriculum will be in a group setting, and it'll be in one of our centers that we have chosen, whichever of the desired locations it will be. And LENA uses the aid of video instruction and peer support sessions to reinforce practices implemented through the curriculum. And this is an effort to motivate parents as well as document growth with those particular parents. And our biggest thing, let's work together to close the 30 million word gap for our at-risk students. And that's all I have for you.
So I think the basic idea here is that a child's brain is about 80%?
80%
Absolutely.
by the age 3.
And so the synapses and all the connections they're making require stimulation.
Yes, sir.
And more high-quality stimulation is better, and interaction with humans is better than TVs.
Yes.
Sure.
And so we don't get to see these kids until age 4 for the pre-K kid.
Yes, sir.
And by that time, a lot of the development's already taken place. So if this is important, and we're going to help figure that out with LENA, a lot can be done with very little effort just by giving the parents some feedback and feedback tools to understand what high-quality interactions are like and how frequent they are and so forth. And then we'll know when these children come to Huntsville City Schools, they were part of this project, and we'll be able to see, the benefit of this program. A very modest program, and Lena's doing the bulk of the effort, but another approach to school readiness that even gets before pre-K to help kids that, we need that strong foundation.
And that's definitely our goal, to make sure that we're reaching these families in advance of them coming. And like I said, it's not that our parents don't want to. We just want to give them some strategies that they can use to make their children successful.
And the reason for the 30 man versus, I think we calculated it 7.5 man.
Here we go.
I think the 30 man was calculated in Chicago and Providence when they began.
Yes.
And that's the north. And you know how fast Yankees talk.
Well, I'm thinking when I work
there's a
on
certain discount factor one has to apply when you get south of Tennessee.
All right.
I'm going on Dr. Wardinsky, so when I work on my PhD,
He knows
that's what we'll do. Yeah. That'll be the new study when I work on my PhD.
All right. Board members, any questions?
You said we're the first school system to get this, but other cities have done it, or libraries, or
Providence and Chicago.
Rhode Island, and Chicago.
do we know what their success rate has been in changing things?
They've had evidence of success, but because the school system was not involved, they lost the ability to follow and see the long-term benefit. So that's why we're the first school system in the United States to participate. The other, so we'll be setting the trend for America with this information.
And we need to assure the parents that it won't be recording what they say.
Yeah,
Right.
and
there's a privacy thing, and it's not recording. If you say you look like your daddy or something like that.
That was one of our conversations that we had with the representatives from LENA, and they assured us that it only counts the sound of the conversation, Ms. McCauley, not the actual words.
Kids, you look like your daddy. That's why you acting like that.
Well, we did ask in advance of, is it actually recording what they're saying, because we know not everything is pleasant, and she shared with us that it does not record what they actually say, but the actual conversational terms. And
Does it sound like Charlie Brown's teacher?
More than one.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Segments, yes, phonological segments.
Yes, phonological segments.
Any other questions, board members?
This would be like a pilot, and then if it's working, it just grows each year.
That's our goal.
That's what I hear. A lot of communities.
Without the school system,
That's our goal. And we're
It's
so
excellent.
excited. We are so excited because,
We
like
are.
I said, with pre-K, like Dr. Wardinsky said, by the time they get to us, their brain has 80 to 90% of it is formed, and so we're working with that other 10. So if we can get them started from the beginning, having mothers to talk to their babies when they first have them, having conversations, and actually using words with their babies, then we can definitely, I feel like we will have a success rate. And again, we are the first school system to implement this. We're excited about
Very
it.
I'm excited too.
Well, we're excited you're excited.
Anthony, how many people are going to be in the pilot?
We're starting, I think, with
Two groups, 12 to
12
15.
families to start with. 12 to 15 will be our max right now.
Any questions from the audience? Okay. Oh, you can stand up. Sam, we got to go. The mic is being recorded. Thank you.
Adam Keller, and I just wanted to know, what are the ideas for the locations so far? Because I know you mentioned that they would be taking place at centers.
Right. Do you have that information?
Two places that we've looked at have been Ridgecrest Elementary School was one of our locations that we were considering, and also
It's on Holmes. What is it?
Second Mile.
Second Mile Development. Because when we look at our areas,
And I think the partners you guys are working with, Huntsville Hospital, right?
Huntsville
Yes.
Hospital is one of the partners that we're working with.
We're also looking
with
for
Second Mile.
partnership with the other hospital.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And then United Way and various groups that are deeply involved in the community. And they'll do things like provide, when mom and dad come, they can leave with a box of diapers and baby formula
incentives and things of that nature.
stuff like that too.
Will the final decision be made based on where all of your all of your recruits are from?
Based on the need, yes, ma'am. It will. So,
Okay, then